So Persona 5 Scramble, Persona 5 Phantom Scrabbler, Persona 5 Strikers, the Phantom Scramble, is finally localized after like deadass a whole year of waiting, and to be real right off the top, to give a quick summary on what I feel for those of you interested in this game, it's pretty damn underwhelming.
Elaborate, you vile fiend.
Nah, I ain't never played no Dynasty Warriors game before this, or even Koei Tecmo's other licensed games like Hyrule Warriors, and as a first impression, this game did absolutely nothing for me. If you like Persona 5, you'll like this game. The action gameplay ain't difficult to get into, despite having a gang of issues and annoyances, it don't really got nothing game-breaking that would make you not want to try it out right now. If you didn't like Persona 5, then Strikers won't do anything to change that, because this game is as disgustingly safe as it gets. The characters and story are as formulaic and conventional as the original Persona 5. If you enjoyed the way these characters was written in games like Persona 5 Dancing Star Knight, Persona Q2, or even the later half of Persona 5, then you'll enjoy this game's plot. Something here that would really sway your opinion about them either which way. You know, for a game advertised as a direct sequel to the original Persona 5, it feels more like a filler spin-off because none of these characters grow or develop past their already established archetypes and caricatures. Joker is the protagonist, Ryuji is stupid, Morgana is a cat, An likes food, Makoto is the actual leader of the group because Joker don't say nothing, Futaba is the annoying hacker gamer girl, and Haru... I don't know. The plot follows the same villain of the week type beat of the original, except I wasn't interested in nothing this game threw at me, and it's not like the game attempted to get me into it either. Atlus must have really expected people playing to already be invested in this game's plot because the opening act is so painfully boring that I could not muster a single bone in my body to care about it. I like Zenkichi, one of the new characters introduced in this game, but that's only because it seems like he's the only character the game really wants to develop. Even then, his arc is just derived from something that Atlus has already done before, so my interest, again, fell off real damn quick. And I don't care about Sophia, the other new character introduced in this game either, because we've already been seeing this generic-ass character type before. It's not new or interesting, and we already got that in the original Persona 5 with Morgana. Doing it a second time just seems lazy, and it's obvious that there's more to her than the game lets on initially. The only time characters ever break their role is during whatever dungeon magically reflects their dilemma from the original game. The idol relates to An, the author relates to Yusuke, the politician happens to just have some connection to Haru because why not? The links the game tries to make to the original is pretty damn weak, and every time the characters would try to relate to each villain, that shit had me rolling my eyes because it don't feel like anything new. It feels like a shitty abridged retread of each character's arc, except, you know, the part where they actually develop as characters. And the jokes are just as unfunny and as common as they was in the original. Feels like they really doubled down on all them shitty ass memes people have been passing around for the past 4 years. Like, for real, bro, this is the same shit as the original, and it wasn't even that funny back then. The gameplay here is the one thing that's super new to me, and I ain't never played no Koei Tecmo game before like I said, and I don't know who's at fault for this one, but shit like exploring dungeons felt real clunky and not very challenging. The stealth mechanics they try to incorporate is real inconsistent, what with some corners being hiding spots while some aren't, the fact that the security meter ain't something I ever worried about, and the fact that shit like ambushes is mapped to the special attack button, so I could try to ambush some dude that clearly got his back turned to me and is close by, but because the game don't want to recognize that, I end up shooting them instead, losing my advantage for no real reason. The actual combat though feels nice. You know, the whole game I've been using Ryuji, Yusuke, and Sophia, and I really got no desire to swap them out because I like how they handle for the most part. Low-key though, none of that really matters because none of these hoes compare to Yusuke, like, at all, bruh. Like, his basic 3-hit special is more than enough to carry you through the entire game, and his special ability deadass just lets you combo for as long as you can get away with mashing the button. I can't tell you how many mini-bosses I've been ran through just spamming this shit. It is real sad. He even gets a combo later on that can just cast Tsukukaja for no SP at all. And when agility is linked to crit rate, he's easily the best character in the game for stunning and knocking down enemies. The only issue I got with the actual combat is that sometimes the camera just don't work in smaller spaces, and locking onto enemies with R3 feels real nasty since I grew up playing games like Kingdom Hearts, you know, it just don't feel right to me. And even outside all that, some battles can just straight up floor you in seconds because some common demons and even some bosses got an issue with telegraphing their own attacks. Making matters worse is that from what I've seen, your party members will just throw themselves at any enemy and use SP whenever they feel like. So it's perfectly possible that when whatever character you're playing as happens to die to an attack that you might not see coming, you're stuck playing as a bunch of lit-ass characters with no SP, because this game, much like other Persona titles, starves you for that shit. I understand that in the actual modern Persona games, they're not too willing to just hand out SP restoring items because the game wants you to leave dungeons and beat them over the course of a couple days and shit. But there was no goddamn reason to keep that mentality for this game, bro. The calendar don't work the same way as the original. There's no deadline to beat any dungeon by, and when you leave the metaverse, you can just come back seconds later completely healed. Why not just make checkpoints healing stations too? Why I gotta hit up a checkpoint, watch myself lead a dungeon, walk back into the hideout, watch myself enter the dungeon again, and then pick the last checkpoint I've been to for some heals every time? It's not like any of the characters I'm using got a lot of SP to begin with, so I be doing this shit a whole lot, and it gets so damn tedious even with the non-existent load times on the PC version. It really sucks because for the most part, I enjoy the actual combat part of the game, but it's just so easy and there's not that much of it, so even the one good part just feels real shallow. I ain't even used the Velvet Room that much because the regular ass demons I get from battles are more than enough to beat any challenge that comes my way. Even then, why the hell would I want to use bunk-ass, boring-ass Joker anyways when Ryuji gets super armor and Yusuke breaks the game? The only time I'd even use anybody that's not these two is when the enemy resists physical and I'm forced to use magic, but them cases are real few and far between. And I ain't even mentioned the worst part about this game yet, bro. It's the pacing. I swear to God, this shit is just so slow. I did not expect for a single second that this hack and slash action spin-off of Persona 5 would be so bloated with useless ass, boring ass, drawn out ass, unfunny ass cutscenes. Even though I kind of should have, because I mean, this is a sequel to Persona 5. I've already been saying that the main cast haven't had no meaningful development, so every cutscene is just everybody sitting around repeating the same information over and over again about each bad guy, and that's it. It's honestly the only reason why it took me so damn long to beat this game, bro. Between every short-ass dungeon, there's a whole gang of cutscenes that I don't care about, with writing so bad and so basic, this shit's giving me flashbacks to Persona 3. And fellas, that's not a good thing. If I can nitpick for a second, I think the game looks real ugly. Like, they did some real weird ass shit with the character models and they all look jagged as hell. Most cutscenes are uninteresting visually, which is a problem I had with the original Persona 5 too. I'm not interested in watching 10 people stand in a circle staring into space, moving their hands sometimes to speak. It's just not interesting. Sometimes characters will just pop into cutscenes, and on the PC version, the game crashes whenever that bitch feels like it. Like, I already know who the fuck the villain's gonna be, bro. Let's stop with these stupid ass cutscenes. Let me just get up it. This shit just crashed on me, bro. I swear to God, this game. The battle music is real annoying to me, especially them shitty remixes of the original Persona 5 music. I don't know why these dudes keep insisting on making songs that take like 30-40 seconds to actually ramp up and get hype, but when most of these fights end in 10 seconds, it's just not good and gets real annoying. I shouldn't have to spend no extra money for more battle themes to fix this problem either, especially when the modern Persona tracks all got this same issue and that takes up a bunch of the DLC slots. Real fast, and like the music is so, I'm gonna keep it a whole beam with you, bro. This music's getting real annoying. Like, it just starts and then it ends, and fucking look at that shit, bro. The fucking battle's already over. Like, did you enjoy the first 5 seconds of the song? Well, shit. Good, I hope so, because that's all you're gonna be hearing for the entire fucking game. But I do like some of the new overworld tracks, and the title screen music is one of, if not the best song to come out of Persona 5 as a series. I really enjoy it. This shit actually sounds like acid jazz too, which is something you can't really say about the original game all too much. And this song wasn't even composed by Shoji Meguro. Like, you gotta be real embarrassed, bro. I'm so sorry. So is this game really worth the $60 it's trying to ask for? I'm gonna be honest, it really depends on, again, if you enjoyed the original Persona 5 or not. If you did, then this game is just more of that. The character interactions are exactly the same as every other product from Persona 5. Ryuji still says for real. Yusuke still does that weirdo shit with his hands every 5 seconds. An still gets hit on by creepy old people, and Futaba is still annoying as fuck. Nothing this game has done has surprised me or got me interested for what's next. And because I personally don't like the writing of the original game or the spin-offs, none of the cutscenes do anything for me either, and I've started to skip most of the ones that don't advance the plot that much because I care that little. Your enjoyment of Persona 5 Strikers depends on if you like watching characters sit and talk about the same shit over and over again, making the same exact jokes for some 40-odd hours between segments of shallow, yet admittedly fun and addicting action gameplay. So if you're really interested in this game, I'd say go for it. If you worry because you never played the original, that shouldn't stop you from playing this game either, because there's almost no connection between either game's plots outside of it just taking place afterwards, and sometimes the characters will name drop villains from the original game, but that's about it. If you're really still on the fence about this game, I'd say just wait for a price drop whenever that pulls up. I think if you like Persona, it's a game worth trying. For those of y'all who have played it, let me know what y'all think. I'm sure there's a lot to talk about with a game like this. Ultimately, I believe that there's a whole lot of fun and enjoyment to be had in Persona 5 Strikers. It's just not for me. I think this game's gonna be a one and done. But shit, I ain't even paid for this game, so it don't bother me none.